Welcome to aminacademy.com. In physics formulae and their explanation, let us discuss about frictional formulas. What is friction? The force that resists the sliding or rolling of one solid object over another, that is a friction. Frictional forces such as the traction needed to walk without slipping may be beneficial, but they also present a great measure of opposition to motion. Here, the frictional forces happen here. This opposite to pulling forces. That is between the floor and the body surface. Static frictional force. Static frictional is the force that resists the relative motion of two surfaces that are at rest with respect to each other. It occurs when an object is at rest or when one object is slightly slanted or inclined. Static friction, look at here, suppose a body is lying on the table. Here, this normal force acting upward, weight, that is mg, force is downward, then acceleration due to gravity is here, that is mg. The applied force is pushing force here. Then static friction happen in opposite direction of that applied force. So static frictional force Fs equal mu s mg. Mu means frictional coefficient between the surface of the table and the surface of the block. Limiting frictional forces. The limiting frictional is the maximum amount of friction that occurs when a stationary object is about to start moving. It's also known as the limiting condition of static friction. Limiting friction is always opposite to the motion of the object. Here, limiting friction act here and movement of the body is this direction. Thrust, that is pulling, is like here. Mg weight is exactly opposite down to normal reaction. Next is a kinetic frictional force. A kinetic frictional is a force that acts between two or more moving surfaces in opposite direction to their motion. It causes energy consumption and wear. The magnitude of the force depends on the coefficient of kinetic friction between the two materials. The formula of kinetic friction is here mu f, here kinetic friction Fk equal mu k into normal force n. Where mu k is the coefficient of friction between the surfaces, n is normal reaction, F equal to kinetic frictional force. Next is minimum force required to move a body. The minimum force required to move an object can be calculated using the formula, that is minimum force required is coefficient of static friction into weight of the body. To find the minimum force required to move an object, you need to consider two factors, the coefficient of static friction and the weight of that object. Look at here. Here, this is a slant surface with the angle theta. That force, so body is here about to slide down. We have to push up to stop or move up. That force is mg sin theta plus mu mg cos theta. This together forms a motion upward or stops the body with limiting friction. Therefore, F minimum, force minimum required to move, that is stops and just start the moving upward, is mu mg over square root of 1 plus mu square. Then generally F equal here mu You can say mu u over this over cos theta plus mu sin theta. That means here cos theta plus mu sin theta can be written in terms of square root of 1 plus mu square. Then this is the F minimum formula, minimum friction required. Next one, friction as the component of contact forces. What is that? Here, frictional force is a contact force. Contact forces are forces that requires a physical contact between two or more objects or bodies. Frictional force occurs when two bodies in contact with each other try to move over one another's surface. The irregularities of the two surfaces lock together, causing friction. For example, when a ball is in contact with a surface or foot in contact with the ground, frictional force can act between our foot and the floor or ball and the floor. Now, minimum contact forces, frictional friction as the component of the contact force. Here, for this, F C max equal square root of mu square n square plus n square, which is equal you can say this one is mu into square root of not mu, that is n is taken out as a square root, mu squared plus 1 also can write. When F max equal to mu n. Here FC max, minimum contact force maximum is this formula when F max is u mu n. Motion on a rough inclined plane. The motion of a block or a rough inclined plane is the interplay of two different types of forces. The places on such a surface experiences both the gravitational force and frictional force. While the gravitational force trying to pull down the block, frictional force by its nature opposes the motion of the block. Look at here, suppose here the body tried to come down with mg sin theta force, and here that mg is a perpendicular force, perpendicular down, that is a gravitational force, this normal reaction, and this is this component of the force horizontal to the surface is mg sin theta, that vertical is mg cos theta. Now this F equal to mu mg cos theta. Suppose here this mg sin theta is more, it come down, but if mu mg cos theta is greater than this, it will go up. Angle of repose. Angle of repose, the angle that the plane of contact between two bodies makes with the horizontal when when the upper body is just on the point of sliding. Here, suppose by frictional force it stops here. Here, the angle we needed, just that angle just want to slide down is an angle of repose. means the angle that plane of contact between two bodies makes with the horizontal when the upper body is just on the point of sliding. The angle whose tangent is the coefficient of friction between the two bodies. Therefore, mg, here the condition when angle of repose happen when mg sine theta is equal mu mg cos theta, where mu is called angle of repose, where mu is angle of repose. Now, here theta, where mu equal to tan theta. Here, this alpha is, this theta is angle of repose. So far, we discussed about friction and its various types and their formulas. We have done. Please subscribe our YouTube channel.